Well, thank you, Mary, for taking the time with me today for your Conscious Leadership Guild interview. I'm Karen Wilhelm Buckley, and just, you know that, we've known each other 38, 40 years, something like that, but others might not.
Yeah,
I'm really happy to be having this conversation with you because I know the richness of what you have.
Oh,
the way you think about things and feel things.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, and I'm going to leave this on gallery view so that for both of us it feels more like a conversation and people can see the interaction between us, which I think it'll make it more interesting for us in this moment, and I hope for anybody who happens to look at this.
Perfect.
Yeah, so thanks.
Good. All right. So the first question, if I may, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. What's a story about how spiritual wisdom has touched or supported you in your life and work?
So you'll let me know when you'll keep time for me, right, Karen?
I will.
Okay. Spiritual wisdom. That seems like such a big term. I'm going to venture that I don't know what that means, but I'm going to translate it into how I think about it, which is, for me, spirit is about my sense of interconnection to myself inside, to the space around me, to you in this moment, to whoever I'm with, to the trees that I can see outside my window that are gently moving in the breeze. So it's from that sense of interconnection that whatever knowing or understanding comes to me. It comes to me on the wings of wind. It comes to me on the wings of the green of the trees, and fills my heart. Just even talking about it, fills my heart right now. Yeah. So I guess I would say, in terms of how it's influenced, what did you say? How it's influenced my personal and professional life?
Sure.
I think that's the how would I answer that? I guess it's influenced me in the sense that that's been the quest of my personal and professional life, is that sense of interconnectedness and creating spaces in which other people feel that interconnectedness, because that has everything to do with how they interact with one another. So as a facilitator and a consultant and an educator, it's all about creating that kind of space in which that sense of interconnection is there and palpable and breathing among us.
I've experienced that with you.
Oh.
It's something I value in our relationship.
Oh, I'm so glad, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, there is some sort of a garden implement that has gotten going in the neighbor's yard. Can you hear it at all? Is it causing?
No.
Okay.
No, right. I can't. So it's all good.
Good. Mary, you offer a lot of wisdom and experience to this dialogue that we have here about conscious leadership. And the whole purpose of the Guild is for dialogue. What is it that matters most to you that you bring into this dialogue? What was an experience to you?
Well, there's maybe two things. One is I might be authentic to a fault. Not really. Yeah, not necessarily to a fault, because I think in a certain way. I've never known any other way to be. And when I'm not authentic, it hurts me physically and emotionally. And I hope that that authenticity, my authenticity, evokes that in others, because that's where the juice is. That's where the wisdom is. That's where that's how life wants to move forward in us, is when we're authentic inside ourselves and with each other. So if that's a kind of experience or wisdom that can be part of the guild, I'm grateful for that. Whenever I have those moments, I feel grateful for it. Yeah, it's like somehow how to weave in, as you know, I read a lot, I study a lot. So in that sense, I'm kind of a wannabe academic, I guess is how I would say it. But for me, it's always within all that knowledge, or within whatever knowledge I have. It's like how does that knowledge weave together? How I feel about that, that what other people are bringing forth, how does it inform my life, and how does it make me, how does it help me? How does it help me bring forward what wants to be brought forward? I don't know how clear that was, but
it ties back with with the theme you offered in the first question around interconnection.
Yeah.
And what I just heard was you speaking not only about the interconnections between ideas, but the interconnections between the feelings and the sensations and the larger wisdom that comes around that information.
Oh, nice. Thank you. That's helpful. Yeah, I'm just remembering a dear friend of ours, Ray, years ago, she told me I was a weaver. And I just thought it was such a gift to give me, because I thought, yes, that is what I do. And that's what you're describing. I mean, it's not just weaving ideas, it's weaving people, etc. And that it's just what my whole being does automatically.
It's your DNA of some sort.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Mary. So what is your learning edge at this point? What energizes you right now around discovery and learning?
I would say, I think what energizes me is I'm trying to, well, it's in a way, it's another weaving. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. Weaving my interior space with the exterior space, meaning how can I stay connected inside with whatever is occurring there, and at the same time expand my awareness so that I'm simultaneously, like right now, simultaneously be connected to me and to you. Nice. And the space around us simultaneously, because I think that's, I mean, not to sound too dramatic, but I really believe that is part of what we need to do to be able to interact with one another in more constructive ways. Because if I can stay with what's deeper and innermost in me, and be sensing the same in you and the space around us, or if there's other people here, that's where we can find an energy, or as our buddy Alan Briskin would say, we can find collective wisdom. Is being able to be with all of that simultaneously. I think as an introvert, I tend to go in and then out, or I'm either in one place. And I think my learning edge is learning how to be both at the same time, perceiving and receiving. And then communicating from that place.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Perceiving and receiving, and then expressing whatever that weaving is that comes out, huh?
Right.
That's cool. That's neat. The next question is a little interesting. What do you long for? And it has to do with what's your future or your vision of what do you long for?
Mm. I long for the people that I work with to see what I see, to see the possibility of that kind of interconnection with one another. And not, let me pause for a second. Yeah, to be with whatever is arising inside or with one another, and to not get defensive or offensive or frightened of it, and to be able to hang in long enough so that the sense of interconnection allows us to move forward together into territory that none of us have ever thought about before. Yeah, so it's seeing the possibilities that I see, that I really believe in, when we can work with one another in that way. That's what I long for.
Wow.
You know, because sometimes I get so sad when people are like, or that, you know, with one another. And it's like, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. We've got so many issues to solve, so many challenges in front of us. Yeah, so that's what I long for, is that kind of, that doesn't mean we're going to all agree. That's not what I'm saying, but it's how do we handle it? How do we handle it when our worldviews crash with one another? And we make one another enemies? How do we work our way through that in a way that leaves us whole and larger?
Yeah, and hopefully takes better care of the people around us in our community or our county or our state or the world, and the humans and non-humans around us. And I know that's why you've taken on and tackled a number of diverse stakeholder issues around water and wind use and all kinds of different things.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I'm either stupid or brave or both.
Hey, you're committed.
I'm committed. I'm definitely committed.
Don't count once you're committed.
I'm sorry, what?
Stupid and brave don't count once you're committed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. No,
and it's okay to be both. You know, I have moments where I'm an idiot and moments where I can be, you know, on it.
Exactly. You're human.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So you're part of the Guild. What kind of support do you invite from Guild members? What kind of connection or contact do you invite?
The best support for me is when I'll go back to something I said earlier, authenticity. You know, if people see me as being off or saying something that's hard, or, you know, that they're just real, that people are real. That to me is real support, is when people are real with me. But what they're thinking and feeling, even if they disagree with me or want to challenge me, or, you know, whatever it is, that to me is true support, because it's real. And that makes me trust. I trust when someone can be real with me, as you and I have been over many years.
Yeah.
We've had our bumps and we've had our moments of glory.
Yep. But we keep sticking with it.
Yep.
Through it. Yeah. And that really counts a lot. Well, there's an open-ended set of questions here, and I didn't ask you which one you wanted to put to your attention. So
which one do you want me to answer?
Well, then I would say, what gives you the most fun, joy, contentment, and fulfillment in your life and work?
Meaningful conversations and walking in the woods. So I go full circle, back to, yeah, meaningful conversations and being in the woods.
Would you tell a little more briefly about your story as a child in the woods?
Oh,
Because I know the
yes.
story and I think it's an important part of who you are and what you bring.
Yeah, it is. Well, without going into my family circumstance, let's just say that my soul, my solace, somehow my body knew to go into the woods, to feel, I guess to not feel so alone. I mean, in some ways, I had a big family, so I was the youngest. So there, I got a little lost in the shuffle at times. I'll put it that way. But somehow when I was in the forest, walking underneath the trees and looking up in through the branches into the sun, hearing the birds, feeling the air around my body, on my face, I just felt this sense of just joy and interconnection and belonging. I felt a deep sense of belonging on the earth.
Wow.
Yeah, and I still feel that when I go into the woods. And like when you and I go on our hikes, when we get to be together, it just fills my heart with joy.
That's great. It sounds like a real touchstone for you in your life.
It is a touchstone, absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anything else you'd like to say to conclude the interview or the dialogue as it is?
The dialogue. No, I just so appreciate you doing this with me, Karen, and to allow it to be a little different than I think what some of the folks from the guild, how they wanted us to do it. So I appreciate your flexibility and I treasure our friendship more than words can really say. So thank you.
I do as well. Thank you for the privilege. All right. So I think we can shut off the.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they just asked us to leave a little space at the end, 10 seconds.
Right.
Okay. I will stop the recording.